Let's now get changed. Now, Stefano Renzetti from Google Customer Solution Italy.
Eccoci qua. Buongiorno a tutti.
Here we are. I'm Stefano Leccese Renzetti, manager of multi-channel programs in the Google Customer Solutions team. I'm here in the place of Alberto Frasarin today because he has had a small accident and he cannot be here with you today. Well, I have heard many of the words I'm going to mention in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and I've already heard them from the colleagues who spoke before me. Today, I definitely want to provide an overview on the opportunity at the moment, providing you with a map too, to outline the digital consumer, because in this sector too, the consumer is digital, with 3 more suggestions on how to exploit this technology with the technologies that are the elephant in the room, as the British say. As for the numbers, we have already heard. For sure, during the pandemic, we have seen a great acceleration and a great development, and possibly without the pandemic, that would have taken years in this sector too. These Technavio figures show how, notwithstanding the inflation effect in the crisis, the looming crisis, the home design sector has forecast a growth in the coming 5 years with an aggregated growth rate of 10.5%. For sure, this is a new normal, as we have defined that as regards digital purchases too. Definitely, many of you are already seeing this change in the consumers, but to provide you with a different view. The home and furniture sector is the 3rd most purchased category online in the world. In countries like UK and US, those that are always at the forefront, $1 out of 3 comes from an online transaction. Hence, 30% of the market revenue in the US and UK comes from digital transactions in this sector too. What does this mean? It means that someone, the user, the customer of your own companies, since your companies are so well known abroad, as we've heard in the previous interventions, and in Italy too, well, they are already online. And so the question is, what do customers do when they're online? In the next 30 seconds, maximum 2 minutes, I'll also try to tell you what's happening and how they spend their time online. First, they are looking for inspiration, regarding the future, the next design object they want for their house. And the pandemic has actually helped a lot from this point of view, because we are paying more attention to the environment we are living in. The second activity is discovery, search in discovery of new products to purchase. Third operation is the purchase in sale. I'll provide some numbers to substantiate this research we've made with Trinity McQueen, a consultancy company that met our own technological platforms with their expertise in behavioral science. What do these figures say? 44% of users purchasing online in Europe in the past 6 months, specifically in the home and furniture sector, were actively browsing in search of products to buy in that moment. The other side of the coin, however, is that almost 60% was not looking for, going for a true acquisition, to purchase. 28% was engaged in experiential interactive activities in the home and furniture sector without looking out for something different, and another 30% was in search of a product that they would buy in a second moment. So what's the food for thought from this slide? For you and the companies in the sector, this is an opportunity to engage this consumer in an omni-channel experiential activity when the consumer is not actively browsing for a product, but in a moment when the consumer is just dreaming about the house of the future for themselves and their children. As for the 41% we were mentioning before, those who were actively browsing for a product, 2 out of 3 had no brand in mind. Only 40%, 37% has already a brand in mind when they start searching online for a product for their own house. Definitely, the users that intend to discover new online and offline points of sale, because we are talking about being omni-channel here. So what are they looking for? They do look for new stores, 54%, new retailers, 46% are looking for new brands, and 71% are looking for new marketplaces, new distribution forms like those that have originated lately. And the third moment, the one of the two purchase, well, the survey tells us what are the critical success issues, success stories that brought an online user to buy a furniture product in the past 6 months. 3 were the main one. Delivery is top. Delivery at home, straight at home. Before, we heard about the delivery through a helicopter of an 800 kilograms stone wash basin. This is to understand how the supply chain is important for your sector. However, for the purchase, this is a critical factor for success to allow identifying the purchase to be made online. Secondly, convenience compared to the brick-and-mortar store. And third, and this is pretty important in my opinion, because when you buy a product for your house, you want to make comparisons. Comparison is quite immediate in the online channel. The online experience allows me to compare products very easily compared to the traditional offline experience. And this is a challenge for the operators in the sector, because they have to guarantee that this can take place on their own websites and platforms. My suggestion is these figures emerge from the company's ability to provide fundamental first-part data. Those data you know from the consumer, the consumer at best. Now they can be grouped together thanks to artificial intelligence in full respect and compliance with the privacy regulations to inform your marketing campaigns in a more specific way. What does this mean? Through your first-part data collected in compliance with privacy laws and thanks to the artificial intelligence strengthened new technologies, we can provide the right message in the right moment, in the right place, in the digital world. This is paramount to provide effectiveness to your company marketing campaign. The sentence I'm about to say has never been confirmed. Wanamaker was supposed to say that 50% of my marketing budget goes lost. The problem is that I don't know what 50% we're talking about. Well, for sure, in the digital world, this is easier to discover. So, How can the digital opportunity be picked by home and furniture companies? First, good news. For sure, the sector is not lagging behind in the digital sector. Other sectors are similar, like fashion luxury, have a digital purchase rate of $1 out of 2, so other sectors are more at the forefront on that. But much has already been done by companies like you from this point of view. What can we do for the future? And to pick the third true digital revolution. We started with the internet 50 years ago, then the strong acceleration after the year 2000, so the new century, with the development of smartphones. And now the third revolution, the one we are witnessing in this very moment, which is artificial intelligence. So the first thing we as Google recommend you to go for, and as Google Customer Solution Italy, which has in its own DNA the idea of helping made in Italy companies. So first recommendation is to provide consumers with an integrated online-offline experience. The two channels are not conflicting. The two channels have to work together. Second, you should interact with your own users, doing that in moments when they are not paying that much attention to your own product, but get them inspired, let them understand that they might be interested too, even when they are not proactively looking for one of your solutions. This can actually be enhanced with the new technologies. It's the return on the investment. And third, in compliance with all privacy regulations, you should create tailor-made messages using data that are tailor-made the same way as your products are, for those purchasers who are looking for inspiration and for wonderful products like those your companies manufacture. So an integrated digital and offline experience, detecting purchases in any moment, and third, use first-party data to create strategies that are more in line with the consumer's needs. So if you have any questions, I'll be available later on. Thank you for your time and your attention.